Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Slow Damage. Sorry for the long wait. Uh, if you haven't checked the community tab, I injured myself during the New Year celebrations, and it took me 2 months to recover from that. I'm not 100%. It's sort of like what happened with my shoulder like forever ago. It aches during the cold weather, and winter is really just sticking for a very long time right now. The temperatures are awful, you know. If you're in the US, you know. So I think I'm just gonna jump in. We are at a restaurant with Taku and Ray. We still are at the very beginning of this game. So also, I noticed that I never noticed this before. I guess I just got used to it. You can hear my computer. It makes a lot of noise. I'm very sorry about that. Every time I talk, anyway, because I have a noise gate, and when I'm not talking, you don't hear it. But when I'm talking, you can hear it behind me. So sorry. I didn't know. I didn't notice. I blocked it out of my hearing or editing. So, sorry. When we sat down at our table, Taku ordered the Salisbury steak special. Ray got steak, fried rice, and a parfait, and I got a coffee. This boy needs more more food in him. Okay, do I remember how to play this game? Because this game is not like other games. I'm gonna enter. While they ate their food, I slowly sipped my drink. This was pretty commonplace for me. And yet every time it happened, like clockwork, Ray would tell me how it's not healthy and it's going to give you one of it's going to kill you one of these days. Well, sure enough, I could hear him grumbling about something, but the moment they put his parfait down on the table, his whole face lit up.
もう、ここのストロベリーミルクパフェ本当に美味しい。
He squeezed his eyes shut and squealed in delight.
毎度毎度そんなに喜んでもらえたら、作った人も作りがいがあるってもんだな。
Taku sipped his post-dinner coffee with a wry grin. Is that how you say that? He wasn't a big fan of sugary stuff, so he couldn't really relate. Can I? Oh shit, how do I hide? Hold on. I forgot this is a thing with this keyboard that I can't screenshot. Sorry about that.
毎度毎度喜ぶから、もっとたくさん美味しいスイーツ作ってって感じ。
Ray stirred his parfait with a spoon, a dreamy smile on his face. Why is he cute? How do I do toggles? Please hold. Skip text. High text. Oh, it's space. My bad.
ちょっと、まだ食べてるんですけど。
Oops, did I read that? Oh, yeah, I didn't read that. Sorry. The only lasted until I put a cigarette between my lips and started to light it. Excuse you, I'm still eating here. Yeah. Tawa.
うん。
Uh-huh.
うんじゃないわよ。
喫煙席だろ、ここ。
マナーってものがあるでしょ。タクだってもうやめたんだし、あんたもいい加減やめなさいよね。
吸ってた俺が言うのもなんだが、タバコは100害あって一理なしだぞ。
I ignored their complaints and lit my cigarette and took a drag. Instantly, Ray's smoke went from yellow to red, mingling with cigarette smoke.
本当にもう、トアは酒とタバコばっかり。あんなにいい絵を描くのに、実態なんてこんなものよね。はあ
Oh, whoa. Ray let out an exaggerated sigh. Sulking, he put his elbow on the table and his chin in his hand.
歴史上の有名な画家も変人が多いからな。ある中から異常な女好きまで様々だ。
Don't Don't encourage Totola here, Taku.
どこかしら変わってるから芸術面では突出してるってこともあるんだろ
Oh no.
なのかしらね。でも、そばにいたらすごい嫌よ。迷惑よ。今、身をもって体感してるわ。
う。とわに関してはもう諦めろ。昔からこういうやつだ。
It was the harsh truth.
その割には、可愛い趣味があるのよね。
And yet he has a secret cute side. Oh? A devilish grin creeped up Ray's face.
趣味
部屋にずっと置いてあるウサギのぬいぐるみを興味ないとか言うくせに捨てないじゃない？実は好きなんでしょ。
いや
I did have a bunny blush in my blush. I did have a bunny plush in my apartment, but I wasn't particularly attached to it. I just randomly spotted it at a store one time and wanted to buy it, so I did. I hadn't really touched it or thought about it since, and now it sat collecting dust in the corner.
夜はこっそり抱いて寝てたりするんじゃないのか？
やだ、とあったらそんな可愛いところあるの？
Are you like secretly super adorable? Oh, as Taku teased me, Ray joined in. Ignoring their idiocy? Wow, I can read. Welcome back, me. We're at this shit again, sorry. Oh my god. I turned away and took another slow drag of my cigarette.
そういえば今日はデスマッチには行かないのか？
Deathmatch area tonight. What's deathmatch
今日
area?
はお休み。チームメンバーの都合もあるからね。
Oh, okay.
そうか。
I don't remember what this is. Oh, you're about to explain it to me? Oh. The deathmatch area was a special section of town located in District A at the center of Shinkoyumi. It was once ground zero for a lot of Takasato Gumi infighting. As a result, the whole district was torn apart, and residents were barred entry. Naturally, this attracted a lot of seedy types. Eventually, it became known as a place for fistfights, and people started using it as a battlefield to test their strengths. Nowadays, anyone who wanted to fight could meet up in District A to take part in what was now referred to as a deathmatch. Of course, the Takasato Gumi had noticed this, but they chose not to interfere. Here in Shinkoyumi, plenty of people are frustrated with the tyranny of the Takasato Gumi, not to mention the struggles of living in poverty. So the Takasato Gumi let them have their death matches in District A if it meant they could vent their stress. Their one restriction, they would hassle anyone who tried to live there or start a business there. Other than that, the Takasato Gumi didn't get involved. Believe it or not, taking part in death matches was something of a hobby for Ray. He always went with his buddies from Roost. Wow. Supposedly, they were actually among the top contenders, but death matches weren't my thing, so I didn't know if that was true. Judging from their looks, you wouldn't think they were seasoned fighters, except for the rare occasions they turned up sporting cuts and bruises.
楽しんでやってるなら構わんが、あまり羽目を外すなよ。最近じゃデスマッチも昔より悪質な奴らがうろついてるらしいじゃないか。
That's interesting that Ray seems to be like the more like fluffiest one out of this group of three. And he's into fist fighting. And he's like very good at it apparently.
まあね。でも、そういう奴らもまとめて吹っ飛ばすのが楽しいのよ。スカッとするわ。
Wow.
そうか。ま、しばらくは高里組も荒れるだろうから、お前たちも気をつけろよ。上の連中はともかく、チンピラどもがトラブルを起こすかもしれん。
そうなったら、拳で鎮圧しちゃうから大丈夫。
Just a screen flicker. It might be my game. To prove his point, Ray flashed up his fist. Taku grinned wryly.
拳を振るうのはデスマッチだけにしとけよ。
もちろんパフェおごってもらったし言うこと聞きます。美味しかった。ありがとう。大満足。
Oh my god. He's so cute. In a blink, Ray had polished off his parfait. He set down his spoon with a satisfied smile.
それじゃ明日もあるし帰るか。
そうね、また明日。とは、ちゃんと寝なさいよ。このまま飲みに行ったり、男を引っ掛けに行ったりしちゃダメだからね。
ああ、
Oh, yeah. Come on, Toa. Come on, Toa. With a non-committal response. I crushed my cigarette in the ashtray. Tucker rose to his feet, grabbing the check, and took it over to the register.
ごちそうさま。
Right as Ray got up, he suddenly turned back to me.
あら、そういえばあんたもおごりなの？
コーヒーしか飲んでないからな。
Whenever we went out to eat, Taco would always pay for my order, probably because it was only one extra drink. Ray donned a melodramatic frown and glanced at me out of the corner of his eye.
なんかあんたって周りから妙に甘やかされてるわよね。ふらふらしてて危なっかしいからかしら。野良猫みたいな感じ？
さあな。
I shrugged, and together we headed for the exit. Small damage. That was a nice scene. So we learned something about Ray in that one. Was next day. I don't know where we are. His studio. Wow, I'm dumb. I wasn't scheduled to work at the clinic, so I woke up around noon. He always leaves the TV on. Toga came up to my room on his break and invited me out to lunch. Ray wasn't scheduled to work until later in the afternoon, so he wasn't around yet. I got dressed and accompanied Taku out of the building.
お待たせしました。
Imagine. What's that? The manager set down 2 mugs of coffee, followed by 2 plates of their famous honey roast. Yep, that was space. Once everything we ordered was on the table, he bowed quietly and headed back into the kitchen. In these parts, Yanagawa Cafe was a popular lunch spot. The place first opened over 20 years ago, and the building's retro read outdated style offered its own special charm. It was about a 5-minute walk from Murase Clinic, so I often found myself here. It all started when I was walking by one day and saw the dimly lit interior through the front windows. It caught my interest, so I went in, and the rest is history. The cafe always played jazz music over the speakers, and the customers were relaxed. The prices were relatively high, but seeing as they were still in business, they clearly had enough regular customers to keep them afloat. That looks so good! Ooh. The cafe's biggest selling points? Freshly ground coffee and honey toast. Oh, did I say honey roast last time? My bad. Even Taku liked their toast, and he was notoriously uninterested in sweets.
さ、食べるか。いただきます。
Pressed his hands together to say grace, then picked up his knife and fork and started cutting up his toast. I crushed my lit cigarette in the ashtray and took a sip of my coffee.
ここのは本当にうまいよな。
甘いの苦手でもこの店のは平気なんだろ。
ああ、この蜂蜜の自然な甘さとパンの焼き加減がガキの頃によく食べたパンケーキに似ててな。ってお前こそ普段はほとんど食べないくせにここのハニートーストは食べるよな。
ま、なんとなく。
Just kind of eat it. You like it.
なんだそりゃ。
Laughing, Taku slid a forkful of toast into his mouth. In a blink, he had somehow already eaten half of the damn thing. Only then did I finally pick up my own knife and fork and started eating.
でさ、もうすっごいやつがいたらしくてさ。
First thought when I saw the hair, Prompto? Oh my god. I guess there was this crazy dude there.
なんだよ、すっごいって。
Oh, like host.
何
Like
がすごいんだよ。
host club. Okay. As we were busy eating, the conversation from the table next to us carried over, filling in the silence.
すごいっつったらすごいんだよ。強いんだって。すごい強かったらしいんだよ。
Ridiculously OP! Oh my god.
そりゃ、高里組ってデスマッチの参加者で強いやつを引っ張ってきてるんでしょ。
Oh.
強くて当然だろ
I do like how this character looks. The plant behind him looks like he has like a little like hairs in the back, like stood up, like maybe like a little pony. But no, his hair is actually like very flat. Also, it's because my eyesight is BS. So I like the color combo. Black hair, purple eyes. The piercings. Anyway. For a fraction of a second, Taku fell Taku fell still.
いや、もっとだよ。もっと強えの。
Mm-hmm. Sure keeps distracting me.
う。もっと
真顔で何人も殴って沈めてくくらいの、そういうマジでヤバいやつだったらしくて、どうも組を裏切ったらしいんだよ。
マジで？
そう。で、兄貴を殺して逃げたって。
兄貴？兄ちゃんってこと？
ちげえよ。あれだよ、ほら、杯がうんたらかんたらってそういう兄貴。
なあ、そういう兄貴。でもさ、それってすごい不義理ってやつじゃね？やばいんじゃねえの？
やばいよ。
The deepest shit, man.
制裁されて、もうこの世にいないって話だけどな。
The dialogue got me here with this guy. Ooh, the deepest shit, man. Alright.
制裁。おっかねえ。高里組なら人の一人や二人くらい簡単に消せるだろうしな。
Okay, Taku, but like that. I'm not gonna get over how that sounded. Taku finished eating his honey toast in silence, but his expression looked stiff. Probably due to the subject matter. In this town, you couldn't walk 2 steps without hearing someone gossiping about the Takatsato Gumi. Some of it was true, a lot of it wasn't. But like a game of telephone, a lot of details got lost along the way, so only a small fraction knew the facts. The guys next to us were just recounting stuff they'd heard from elsewhere. Almost every rumor was tarnished with embellishments born of speculation or assumption. And this one was no different. It wasn't easy to discover the unvarnished truth buried beneath. For example, I would never know the real Taku, and he would never know the real me. Just because we'd known each other for years didn't mean we understood everything about each other. Oh. Then the subject changed to something else, and a few minutes later, the 2 guys left to pay their bill. Once they were gone, Taku finally broke his bitter silence.
大人気だな、高里組は。
I ate my cold toast without responding. As it happened, I knew that guy they were gossiping about. What? A lot about him, in fact. Ooh. Believe it or not, that fight happened while I was still in the gang. Did you kill a man? But I didn't want to remember him, so I actively avoided thinking about his name or his face. Okay, you didn't. Maybe you killed a man, but not this specific man.
他に話したくなるような楽しいことがないんだろ。
I shrugged, and Taku nodded slightly, still grimacing.
そうかもな。
Meanwhile, unpleasant memories rose to mind. I joined the Takasato Gumi back when my mother died. Ooh. When I was in middle school, she died in an accident. Then a Yakuza named Sakaki. Isn't that the guy or person? Yeah. Then a Yakuza named I don't know how to say it. Came and told me she was his gang leader's mistress. If I remember right, it's been, for you, it might have just been just recently, a few hours ago. For me, it's been maybe like a few months. I think Sakaki was the person that was trying to call him at the time that Towa found out that his supposed dad died. Then I learned that his name was Takasato Ryujiro, and he was my father. Yeah, he died recently. As a kid, I only knew Sakaki as a good friend of my mother's. I never knew he was in a gang. After her death, he tried his best to look out for me. Then one thing led to another, and I joined the Sakasato Gumi. No real reason. He invited me to join, so I figured I would. I mean, like, what else was Towa supposed to do? Live on the streets? He would do it, but he's like, well, I'm here. To him, my mother was a dear friend, and he would always reminisce about her. Because of that, he didn't feel like some Yakuza thug. He felt like family. Is he the one who killed the person? As for my actual family, I couldn't remember much of them or anything that happened prior to my mother's death. I vaguely recalled that I had a little sister, but I couldn't remember what she looked like. At the time of my mother's accident, I was injured and sent to the hospital. Maybe that had something to do with it. Mystery MC. I stroked the eye patch over my right eye. Oh, okay. There was no point. There was no point in looking back, and it was all in the past. In the past you don't remember. So. I can't put my thoughts into words. It's been a while. Like, trauma. This game is basically so much trauma. If you don't want dark games, I don't think this game is going to be for you. So, if you're watching just to see that, we're on this journey together. Even without my childhood memories, I was still right here, living and breathing. Are you living, though? You're sort of just existing. I looked down at the table. Taku had stabbed his fork into my cold, half-eaten honey toast. Then, without batting an eye, he dragged it over to his own plate. Dude, don't steal from the man that hardly eats.
食べるのか?
You're gonna eat that.
お前どうせ残すだろ。
He made it sound like he was entitled to eat my leftovers. He had a point, though. I wasn't planning to eat the rest, but still. I laid my knife and fork to rest. Then I lit a cigarette, took the longest possible drag, and blew it all back at him. Oh my god, these two.
おい、やめろ。せっかく禁煙成功したってのに。
Grimacing, Taku waved a hand in front of his face.
本当に成功したかどうか試してるんだよ。
Oh, look at his smile. Oh, he's cute.
今やるな、今。食事中だぞ。
I fixed him with an impish grin. Scowling, he went back to the rest of my honey toast. As he wolfed down a few more bites, I smirked at him.
なんだ。
よく食うなと思って。
お前が小食すぎるんだよ。
He wiped his mouth roughly with a napkin and rose from the table.
ほら、行くぞ。
He grabbed the check and headed over to the register to pay. I crushed my cigarette in the ashtray, then followed after him.